we are ready to get started with our weights class. So for tonight's practice, you may need a chair if you want to do the seated variations. I'm going to offer both seated and standing variations for every exercise. So if you would like to have a chair for support, go ahead and grab one. And you'll need medium to light weights for the exercises we're doing tonight. Other than that, you just need a little room to work and you're ready to go. Remember, if you're just starting, you can always do these moves with no weights at all, just to get used to the form and to practice them and make sure you can do them safely. All right, to warm up, if you're doing a seated warm up, go ahead and make sure your chair is handy and ready. If you're doing a standing warm up, you can do it right where you are. You're going to start with just gently swinging your arms side to side, loosening up your back and your shoulders, maybe your hips a little too. Start to get everything moving. Couple more to each side. And then bringing everything in, we're going to move on to arm circles. So nice big arm circles forward, as big as your range of motion allows. And then the same thing going backwards. Beautiful. From here, you're going to throw your arms in and out, crossing one arm over top and then the other. And then we're going to move down to our elbows. Nice big circles at your elbows this time. Again, just loosening everything up, making sure everything's moving well today. And go the other direction. And now moving down to your wrists. So same thing, big circles in one direction. And then the other direction. Beautiful. And then if you're standing, you're going to move on to hip circles in one direction. If you're sitting, you're going to windshield wiper your knees, which is also going to help loosen up your hips. If you're standing doing those hip circles, go the other way. Beautiful. Bring everything back to stillness. Now, if you're standing, you're going to start with just popping your knees forward and back. And if that feels okay, you can start moving circles in one direction. If you're seated, you're going to be just kind of leaning back, maybe scraping your feet along the floor as you do it, but you're just swinging your feet back and forth, loosening up your knees. If your knees are really bugging you, you can just leave that off altogether. If you're doing those circles, go the other way. And if you're seated, but your knees are feeling okay, you can add circles while you're seated, swinging your feet in small circles instead of back and forth. Beautiful. Now again, standing or seated, you're just going to pick one foot up, twist that ankle around in circles in one direction. And then the other way. And then put it down, switch to the other foot. Circles going in one direction. And then the other. All right, we should be ready to get started. So you're going to go ahead and grab one weight for this exercise. Now the standing variation, you're going to hold that weight all the way up above your head. So it can be a soft bent elbow, it can be straight up, whatever feels best for you with your shoulder. So hold it in a position that you're going to be able to maintain. From here, you're going to turn your opposite foot out just a little bit, reach down, and then come back up. It's a variation of a windmill. So you're turning to reach down and then coming back up. The seated variation, you're going to come to the edge of your chair and do basically the same thing. You're going to hold it up at whatever is a good height for you, whatever position is good for your shoulder. And then you're going to turn that foot out and you're reaching down and back up. We have 1 minute on the clock. Should have had my clock ready. Sorry about that. Here we go. So seated or standing, reaching down, coming right back up, holding the weight steady above your head the whole time. And again, feel free to do this one empty hand. Just set that weight to the side and just try to hold your arm up. You're halfway there, 30 seconds down, 30 seconds to go. This one's a really great core exercise, whether seated or standing. And you're really working all those muscles throughout your arm and your shoulder. 10 more seconds. And time. Swing that arm, shake it out a little bit, get everything loosened back up, and then switch sides. Standing or seated, you choose your variation. Probably want to do the same one you did for the other side though. Ready? Go. Your body's naturally going to need to turn a little bit to make this work. So don't fight that. Let it turn so that you protect your joints. Now, whether you're seated or standing, you're sliding down the inside of your leg. And you don't have to touch the floor. That's the goal. But if it's a little out of your reach, you just go where you can go safely, because you're still going to be working those core muscles and arm and shoulder. 10 more seconds. And time. All right. From here, we're going to go to our lighter weights. And we're going to do a front raise plus a tricep extension. Now, the standing version, you're just keeping your knees soft, tailbone tucked under, belly pulled in tight. You're bringing your arms up, turn your hands, come in behind your head, elbows nice and tight, and then back up and over. If you're doing the seated version, you're doing the same thing, but in your chair. Arms come up, turn, in nice and tight behind the head, and then back down. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice and slow. We're not in a rush here. And make sure that you rotate your hands so that before they go down behind your head, your palms are facing in. Nice, steady breaths the whole time. Ten more seconds. And time. Shake those arms out. Give yourself just a second. And then next up, We're going to grab one weight again. We're going to do a row plus a fly. Now, if you're standing, you're going to want to put your right foot a little ahead, weight in your left hand, leaning forward. You can brace your other hand on your knee or on your hip. You're going to do your row and then your fly. If you're seated, come again to the edge of your chair, lean forward, back nice and straight, row, and then fly. And then row, and then fly. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Row and fly. Again, nice and slow. Taking deep breaths the whole time. Keeping your head, neck, and back in a straight line so you're looking down towards the floor. When you're doing the fly, you want to keep a little bend in your elbow, so don't let it flex all the way out. You want to keep it soft so that you protect your elbow joint. Almost there. And time. Shake that arm out. And then we're going to go to the other side. The same thing, switch hands and feet if you're doing the standing, or for the seated version, just switch hands and brace your hand, other hand on the other leg. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice deep breaths. Still slow and steady. No need for a speed race on this one. This is about strength. And as long as you keep moving, it doesn't matter how fast you go. "15 seconds to go. And time. Beautiful. All right, shake that arm out. And then for this next one, you're going to need 2 mediums. So go ahead and grab your second medium set of weights, or second medium weight. Now we're doing a curl plus a kick. So we're going to do a bicep curl plus a kick with the left leg, and then curl, kick with the right leg. If you're doing the standing version, you're doing the same thing. Curl it up, kick, put it down. Nice and slow. Don't get in a rush here. Make sure you have your balance. 1 minute. Here we go. If you really are having trouble with those knees, like I said, you can just leave the knees, the legs off for any of these, but especially this one. While you're holding the weights up, make sure that you're holding them out a little away from your shoulder to maximize work. Or if your arms get too tired, you can rest them on your shoulders. Almost there. 5 more seconds. And time. All right, that's 1 set down. Grab some water, and then we've got 2 more sets to go. All right, bring it back in. We are back to that windmill that we started with. So grab one weight. Feel free to adjust your difficulty now. Between sets is a great time to decide, was that a little harder than I liked it to be, or a little easier? Do I need to go up on weight? Do I need to go down on weight? Put the weights down all together, make whatever adjustments you need to, and then get set up for that windmill. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. You got this. Halfway done. Almost there. 15 seconds to go. And time. Put that weight down, shake that arm out, and then switch sides. We're going to do the other side now. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Remember to let your body turn as it needs to. Turn that foot out, turn the hand however you need to make sure that your shoulder is tracking properly and nothing hurts or pinches. Halfway done already. Ten more seconds. And time. Shake that arm out. Grab your lighter weights for the front raise into the tricep extension. Again, seated or standing. Pick your variation. Adjust weights as needed. 1 minute. Here we go. Halfway there. Make sure you have a comfortable grip for these, especially. It can be a little hard sometimes turning your hands midway through. So make sure your grip is comfortable and you're protecting your wrists. Five seconds to go. And time. All right, next up we have the row plus the fly. Seated or standing again. Adjust your weights. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Row plus fly. Keeping your back at an angle 45 if you can, but a nice flat back is the most important part. Keeping your head, neck, and back in a straight line so your gaze is down towards the floor. Row it up. And then the fly. Using your other hand for support. Try not to wobble. If you find yourself, especially on that fly, having to heave it up like that, it's probably too heavy a weight. Might need to go down a little bit and work your way back up. 5 seconds. Time. Shake that arm out. Switch sides. And then we have 1 minute on the other arm. Here we go. Same focus as here. Nice straight back, angled forward, head, neck, and back in a straight line. And remember to keep the elbow soft. Halfway done already. Ten more seconds, almost there. And time. All right, last one is that curl plus kick. So seated or standing. You're gonna do your bicep curl and then kick out with one leg, bicep curl, then the other leg. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Curl and kick. Curl and kick. Beautiful. You got it. If you're standing, pay attention to the balance. Only kick as high as you comfortably can. And if you're seated, focus on lifting the knee up first so that you're engaging those quad muscles. Or just focus on the bicep curl. That's okay too. Almost there, 5 more seconds. Time. Shake everything out, grab some water. 1 more set to go. All right, bring it back in. We are back to that windmill for our last round. So weight in your left hand or do it empty hand. If you're doing it empty hand, standing, you're just going to be reaching down and back up. Same thing seated, reaching down and back up. 1 minute. Here we go. Halfway there. I can feel my back kicking in on this one. Really engaging those stabilizer muscles. Five more seconds. Time. Shake that arm out. Get ready to do the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Weight in the right hand this time. Halfway done already. You got this, almost there. You can do it with no weights at all. In that case, you're lifting your hands up, palms down, turning palms in, and then reaching down to touch your back behind you. So whether you're doing weighted or empty hands, seated or standing, get set. 1 minute, here we go. Make sure you're lowering at the same pace that you're raising. So with good control, don't just drop it. Work the muscle in both directions. Halfway done already. Keep breathing. Keep moving, slow and steady. Time. Next up, we have the row plus the fly. So only one weight needed for that. Again, seated or standing, up to you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. And if you wanted to do an empty hand version of this one, same thing. Pull up, soft elbow, raise your arm out to the side. You're still working the same muscles, still doing it slow and steady with good control. Almost there. Time. Shake that arm out. And then we've got to do the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Be careful to keep that elbow soft. Don't lock it out all the way. Keep a nice little bend. And if you find that you're clicking or popping in your shoulder, just don't go quite as high on that fly. Make sure that you're protecting your joint and taking care of yourself. 10 seconds to go. Time. All right. Last up is that curl plus kick. So again, seated or standing, grab the weights that are appropriate for you. Or if you want to just hold your hands up, you can even cactus arm it. You can do the same moves, empty hand, that way. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Remember to get maximum work on the biceps. Hold the weights out a little bit in front of your shoulder so that you're keeping the muscle engaged. Or to cheat a little, make it a little easier, rest them in on your shoulders. Almost there, 15 more seconds. Steady breathing, slow and steady movements. Time. All right, that's the end of our third set. Grab some water, we'll do our final stretch, and then we're all done. All right, bring it back in for our final stretch. Again, seated or standing, whichever one is better for you. Take a deep breath, bring your hands up over your head, and then lean forward. Let your hands hang wherever they reach comfortably, whether that's floor, shin, knees, wherever they fall for you is fine. And then bend your knees and roll up. Shrug your shoulders up, roll them down and back. And we're going to do all that again. So deep breath, arms up. Fold forward. Hang for just a moment. And then roll up. Shrug those shoulders up, roll them down and back. And then one more time. Arms up. Fold forward. Roll up nice and slow. Shoulders up and then down and back. Take one arm, bring it across your body. This time, we're going to do little figure eights with our nose, just to massage out our neck just a little bit. At the same time as we're stretching out our shoulder. And then bring your head to stillness and release. And go to the other side. Pulling that shoulder until you feel a gentle stretch. And then add those figure eights if it feels good, just to roll out your neck a little. Bring your head to stillness, release. And then from here, again, either seated or standing, we're going to do a lower body stretch. So you're going to put your foot out in front, toes up, reach down towards your toes. If you're standing, make sure you have your balance. And just pause for a second when you feel a good stretch through the back of your leg, maybe through your back as well. And then you're going to release. Take that same hand, reach around for a stretch through your back, a little twist. Looking back over your shoulder. Bring everything back to center. Stretch the other foot out in front of you. Reach down just until you feel that good stretch through the back of your leg. possibly through your back as well. And then come up, reaching around for a twist. And then release and come back to center. And that is it. You are done. Great job today. I will see you next week.